Hey everyone, when you hear Web3, what's the first thing that pops into your head? For most people, it's crypto prices going up and down, speculation, all that stuff. Well, today, we're going to push all that noise aside and really dig into the why behind Web3, the core values that are driving this whole movement to build a totally different kind of internet. So to kick things off, this quote really just cuts right to the cheese, doesn't it? Death to crypto, long live Web3. Whoa. It draws this big, bold line in the sand between what the source calls money crypto, the speculative get-rich-quick side of things, and tech crypto, which is the actual foundational technology of Web3 that's trying to solve some real, deep-seated problems.
So let's start with the big question. What's actually wrong with the web we have now? Why do we even need a do-over? Well, if you ask Web3 folks, this isn't some solution looking for a problem. It's a direct response to some major flaws that have crept into the internet we use every day. Web 2.0.
I mean, think about it. The early web had this incredible promise, right? An open, democratic space for everyone. But that's not quite how it turned out. Instead, that dream got kind of hijacked by a handful of massive companies, and their whole business model is built on collecting our data for targeted ads. The belief behind Web3 is that you can't just slap a Band-Aid on that system. You got to rebuild it from the ground up. Okay, so if you're gonna rebuild, where do you start? You start by changing the very foundation of how power works online. So in this next part, let's look at the core architectural ideas that are designed to wrestle that power away from the big central companies and put it back in the hands of, well, us, the users.
And the absolute cornerstone of Web3 is decentralization. Here's a simple way to think about it. Right now, your data lives in one giant skyscraper owned by a single company, like Google or Facebook. In a decentralized world, that data is spread out across a whole neighborhood of different computers. The whole point is to get rid of those powerful middlemen who currently control and make money from everything we do online.
This flows right into the next huge idea, self-custody. It sounds technical, but the concept is super simple. You are in charge of your own digital stuff. Your identity, your data, your assets. It's a massive shift from Web 2, where you're basically just renting an account from a big corporation. And the community has this fantastic little mantra to really hammer the point home. You will hear this phrase everywhere in the Web 3 world. Not your keys, not your coins. It's this punchy, constant reminder that if you don't personally hold the private cryptographic keys, think of them like the one-of-a-kind digital password to your personal vault, then you don't really own your assets. Someone else does. This idea of direct personal ownership, it's totally non-negotiable. And this slide just lays it out perfectly. On the left, you've got the Web 2 model. Your stuff is locked up inside a corporate building. But on the right, you see the Web 3 model. You hold the key to your own personal safe. You decide who gets in and who doesn't. It's a complete flip of the script when it comes to the digital power dynamic. So, we've got a new foundation of power. Awesome. But how do you build a system you can actually trust if there's no big company in the middle guaranteeing things? Well, the answer is kind of beautiful in its simplicity. You build everything out in the open. You use transparency to create trust. So, how is this trust built exactly? It's basically a three-step process. First, everything is transparent. It all happens on a public ledger, kind of like a shared digital notebook that everyone can see. Second, it's immutable. Once something is written in that notebook, you can't just go back and erase or change it. And third, because it's public and permanent, it's verifiable. Anyone, anywhere can check the record for themselves. And that brings us to another core cultural value. In the old world, we're always being asked to just trust institutions. The Web3 ethos is completely different. It's don't just trust, verify. The system is built so you don't have to take anyone's word for it. You're actually empowered to go check the facts yourself. This philosophy of openness goes all the way down to the very code that runs everything. Most Web3 projects are open source. That means anyone can pop the hood and look at the engine, inspect the code for bugs, or check for security holes. This creates security through transparency, the idea that having more eyeballs on the code makes it safer for everyone. That's something that's basically impossible inside the walled gardens of the big tech companies. Okay, so far, we've been pretty deep in the tech. Decentralization, cryptography, open source, all that good stuff. But Web3 isn't just about code. At its heart, it's a movement driven by people, and the culture they're building is every bit as important as the technology itself. And that community is just different. Projects are often steered by their actual users, not some top-down corporate hierarchy. It's permissionless, which means anyone can show up and start contributing.
It's all about collaboration and trying to build an economy where value goes directly to the people creating and contributing, not just the platforms in the middle. I think this is so crucial. The source material calls it a choose your own adventure, and that's the perfect way to describe it. It's not just one path. Whether you're a coder, a designer, a writer, a community manager, whatever your skills are, the system is designed to break down barriers and let you jump in and contribute in a way that plays to your unique strengths. And that brings us to our final section, which really gets to the core of this whole thing. It contrasts two very different philosophies that are constantly bumping up against each other in this space. And it really clarifies what the true mission of Web3 is supposed to be. So here it is, the central tension in this whole universe. On the left, you've got the HODL mindset. That's a deliberate misspelling of hold that became a huge meme. It's passive. It's all about waiting for prices to go up. This is the money crypto world. But on the right, you have the boodle mindset, a play on build. This is active. It's about innovation, creating new projects, and actually expanding the ecosystem. This is tech crypto, and this is the real heart and soul of the Web3 vision. And finally, there's this charming little sign-off from the source that just perfectly captures the spirit of it all. Keep it weird. It's a great reminder that building something truly new and different requires creativity, unconventional thinking, and yeah, a willingness to be a little weird. So that's the vision, to move past all the speculation and focus on these core values of ownership, transparency, and community. But of course, the big question is still hanging in the air. Can this weirder, more open, user-owned web actually be built? And can it live up to all these ambitious ideals? Well, that's something for all of us to watch. Thanks for tuning in.